Hi everyone, welcome to Code Kamkaj YouTube channel. I hope everybody are doing good. In the last video, we had discussed about related to the versioning of our large data set with the help of DVC, and we have seen we and we have discussed about how to push those large data set to AWS S3 and Google Drive. And today's video we will be discussing about another concept called as DVC pipeline components. Because from this video we'll be discussing about how can we use DVC for creating the pipeline for our machine learning life cycle. So stay tuned till this video. We'll be discussing a lot about it. And if you like this series of Mlops and other videos that I have been going with that, so I request you to subscribe my channel and share to your friends. If you don't do that, I'll keep asking this to in each and every video. So once again, if you have subscribed, thank you for everyone that who have subscribed. If you haven't, so I request you to do that. Now let's jump into the discussion. So every component or every concept has such kind of components. So each concept can have few components where these components can make this concept more unique. So likewise, DVC pipeline also have few components that we need to focus and discuss before jumping into the pipeline implementation. So DVC pipelines are structured as the directed acyclic graph. So which each stage represents a stage in a data processing or any other machine learning lifecycle. So it's similar to the pipeline in the machine learning and data engineering workflows. And if you ask me, hey, what is meant by directed acyclic graph? So directed acyclic graph is the way to organize the task or a step so they are connected and follow and similar or single order. So we'll discuss a lot about this, a DAX. In a short form, we called as directed acyclic graph into while we're discussing about airflow. But yeah, even the DVC pipeline will follow the DAX, which is the directed acyclic graph. So which says that it's kind of organizing the task or step in a way where it has connected each other as a link or as a chain. And if you ask me more details, what is meant by direct and what is meant by acyclic? So direct is something that each step or point to each another step, and acyclic is something that it says there is no any loop on each step, so it follows only forward for the next step. So that's the difference of direct and acyclic. And now we'll discuss about each component in DVC pipeline. So we have already discussed about DAX and what is mean by DAG and why we need to use that, and how the DAX followed by DVC. So here the first component is called as a stage. So you might have seen this stage word while you are creating say CD pipeline, or if you are creating the pipeline as a code, you might have heard this terminology a lot. So we're going to use a similar terminology. Stage is a single step or a command line or command in a pipeline, such as data pre-processing or any other machine learning lifecycle. Which means it's kind of executing a step or executing a task by following the commands. It can be your git bash, or it can be any other commands that you can pass it and you can execute it in a pipeline. That's we called as a stage. So you may have a number of stages while you're working with the machine learning lifecycle. So it can be pre-processing, it can be EDA, it can be model training, it can be any other stage if it is related to machine learning. If it is typical DevOps pipeline, it can be build and test and deploy. So you can have a number of stage. So in the backend stage, what we are going to do, we are going to execute some tasks. So in the terminology, we call it as a stage. Fine. So in each stage, we are going to use some inbuilt components in a stage itself. So if you want to run some tasks, so you need to have some components to be integrated inside. And we are going to follow the YAML syntax. So there we are going to call, or you're going to add the component called as command. So where we'd like to execute some shell commands, or if you would like to run any scripting language, it can be Python, it can be other language, or Ruby or R. So you can execute that. So if you want to execute that, you need to use the command component. And second one is dependencies. So it's same that you're going to append, or you're going to inject the input file for your while you're running the task, or while you're running the shell command or whatever Python command or Python script or whatever it may be. So here you are specifying, like, you are going to specify the where your input files are there and what is the path of that input file. So at the dependencies component, you will add it. And output, like, it's saying that generated files or directories. So after ran your entire uh, task or script, so it is going to generate few artifacts. So those are going to be processed over this output, um, component. It can be model artifact, it can be a csv file after done the pre-processing. So you can do that. So at the dependencies, you can specify what is the input file or directory, and the output you will get the process data after ran all your script. So that's all about the, stages components. And when it comes to parameters, so this is the configurable settings where you use in the stages. It can be your hyperparameter tuning, like, you're going to specify or you're going to configure some settings where for your script. So you can add it as a separate file, like, params.yml, or you can directly refer it into dvc.yaml. So that's about parameters. If you are using a hyperparameter tuning, like, to see a better metrics in a machine learning lifecycle, so you can add all those parameters into your params.yaml file, and you can inject that into your pipeline. So that's about parameters. And second one, we have the metrics and plots. So these components are very important into your dvc pipeline. So metrics are, like, output file, so where it has contained the values for you want to track over time, such as, like, model accuracy or loss. So dvc provides command to visualize the metric changes across the version, which means, like, after ran all your script, or after ran all your stages, so you are going to track your all the changes, or what is the model accuracy and how it is performing. So dvc will give us some visualization over these metrics. And the next one is a plot. So plot, or like a files, like, were often generated during the model training, and it contains the data pointers you want to visualize, and such as training curves and other time series data. Like, with this plot, so you can check how your machine learning model metrics are behaving, and what is a model curve, and accordingly you can take the decision whether your data set is given the better metrics or not. So via visualization you can do that. So that's all about metrics and plot, like, where you're using these two while you are doing the model accuracy, or during the model training, so you can use those things. So next component is dvc lock. So dvc lock is a file record that extract the state of each stage and saving the checksum of all dependencies, outputs, or parameters. So in typical way, I can just imagine, like, by using this dvc lock file, it's like a snapshot of your pipeline at a specific time. So which means, like, this DVC log file records exact state of your each stage, and listing all the details, like which version of input and output that and commands has been ran in those expected stages. So with the help of DVC log file, you can recreate the exact same results later at any environment. So you can take advantage of this DVC log file, which means, like, it is going to take the entire snapshot of your all the stages. So these all the, like, main component while you're working with the dvc pipeline. So we may have other component, but we can be make some ignorable things, we can say that, but these are the main components while we are working with the dvc pipeline. So in the next videos, I'll be implementing some dvc pipeline by adding all the stages, parameters, metrics, and plots, and dvc log files. So stay tuned this series. We'll discuss a lot more about, like, how it can create the dvc pipeline for like, any one of the data set we will take, and any one of the model we'll take, we'll inject all the stages into dvc.yaml, and we'll take advantage of all these components, and we'll see how we can enable our pipeline by using DVC. So I'm stopping here for this lecture. So if you have confusion, or, like, this session has not been understood, so I request you to drop your comments and drop in comment section, and I'm happy to help you, or happy to reply you back on this comments. So similar as any time, or the way I'm asking you, so please share your video, or please share this video to your friends and family members who are required to learn, or who are willing to learn the machine learning, and machine learning operations, integrating pipelines, so upcoming technologies. And stay tuned. Thank you. Bye bye.